Hi, welcome to the Your Thought Consultancy. So, in today's topic, we are going to discuss about the software testing. And see that how these testing types will help us to do the software testing in our different projects and product when we are doing and performing the testing activities. As we have discussed in the previous sessions, that different type of testing and approaches and the methods and the level will need to incorporate and need to use while we are doing the software testing. So in the today's session, following the series of our testing course, we will go and discuss about the software testing different types today. So here is my introduction. So as I have a 15-year experience till now, and I have touched different domains, and I have also working as a consultant with different companies nowadays. So and you can reach out me through these widgets, and if you have any question and query, do let me know and paste in the comment section. I will try to answer your question and your queries whenever I get time as soon as possible. So and today's topic, as we have discussed earlier, that today we are going to discuss about the software testing. And there are lot of different type of testing which we need to perform when we are doing the software testing. So here I have compiled some, you can say, the basics and the abstract of the software testing and divided those in five different types and style. So the first thing which we are going to do and which we need to do is the functional testing. The functional testing is basically purely dealing with the functionality of the requirement which we are going to implement. Like if we are dealing with the functional fine fintech application, so the transaction is the from one instrument to another instrument, and is the main functionality part for this fintech domain. And if we talk about the healthcare, so the patient appointment is the another function and the core functionality if we are dealing with the healthcare application. And if we talk about the e-commerce application, so the functionality need to incorporate in a way that if we are going to select the product and going to place the order, so these three different type of examples you can consider as a core functionality of two from three different domains. So in the functional testing, normally we are dealing with the functions of the requirement according to the given requirement. So we need to see that the functionality, the functions which we have developed is working fine according to the requirement or not. So this will lie under the functional requirement. So we do have a lot of different type of functional requirement testing types further, which we will explain in the coming session. So the objective is to see the behavior of the application against that functionality. Let's suppose here I have compiled another example. Let's suppose if we are going to test the login functionality to confirm that the user can log in with the valid credentials or not. So here one thing is very important when we are checking and doing the functional testing for the login, that the authentication and the authorization of the authentic user. So we need to you can say the check and confirm that no unauthorized user can go inside the application. So in the second part, if we talk about the non-functional testing, so we do have non-functional testing which is normally lead with the other aspect of the functionality, which we, our product and the product which we are providing to support the functionality. Let's suppose if you have developed a fintech application, and but your application is not working in the peak hours and in the load hours, so it means that your non-functional testing part is not tested well. So we need to consider the performance testing, the usability, the reliability of the, and the security is another very important factor. And testing non-functional testing nowadays, because we are living in the era of cyber securities and the attacks. So we need to make sure that the non-functional aspect from the which we have list down here, and all other those which are not present here like the security, we need to make sure that all these type of non-functional testing we have done thoroughly to see the application behavior in different style and in different manners. So then comes to the regression testing type. In the regression testing time, normally when we have done some changes, we need to see the existing functionality is working fine or not. This is a very important aspect in this way, because if you are going to incorporate the new functionality in your product, so maybe as a very limited pool of a new user is using that functionality, but the existing one which are ready on deployed and handed over to the customer, the volume of those changes against the customer is very high. So we need to keep this thing in mind whenever we need to deploy any new functionality. We need to make sure that our existing functionality and our existing things are working fine. So now it's come to the performance testing, that is purely belongs from the non-functional, where we are checking the bottleneck of our application in terms of working, in terms of load, in terms of stress, in terms of volume. So where we need to see that the whenever we have a peak value and when we have a rushy, or so how our application and how our product is behaving against the traffic and against the utilization of the users in the peak hours. So in now the last come towards the acceptance testing. So in the acceptance testing, normally we are dealing and checking the acceptance criteria, the requirement in a final shape, that which we have in our hand, that is the requirement is working fine according to the end user prospect or not. So I have list down example with each of the testing type and objective as well. So you can go through these slides and get back to me if you have any question. So going forward, we do have a comparison analysis also placed here for all the functional all the testing types, which is the major. And although we do have a lot of other testing type which involve and we need to do in the functional testing and non-functional and the regression, which we will discuss in the coming sessions. And as we will see that how the functional testing and the non-functional testing or regression or performance and the acceptance testing will perform using the different other testing types which lie under the these categories. So if we talk about the functional testing, as we have already discussed on the previous slide, that the functional testing is purely dealing with the functional requirement of the project and the product. So the objective is that check the behavior, expected behavior against the requirement which we have developed, and the example which we have already code and discussed in the previous page, that if we have a fintech application, so we need to consider the core functionality for the functional testing, that we need to make transaction from one instrument, like you can say that the debit card from transaction from debit card to the bank card. You can say any, and you can take the example of any other fintech application like the banking application, and the branchless applications nowadays is a very, you can say, the era of branchless applications. So we need to see all the core functionalities like the accounts creation, and you can say the transfer money from one instrument to another, and getting the loan in the instruments and stuff like that. And if we talk about the timing, so it means that the functional testing conducted throughout the development. So there is no specific time period to do this testing. We need to keep eyes throughout the project on these things, and normally all these testing type is directly related to the QA engineer and the QA department, where the QA and the QC guy both are doing different activities and stuff to make sure that the things are going fine. So if we talk about the regression, so in the regression, normally we are checking that the functionality, the existing functionality is working fine after even the we have developed the new and injected the new functionality. So normally we have to run the regression source for to make sure that the regression testing is done perfectly and see the you can see the impact of the new changes in the regression part. So if we talk about the performance, normally we are seeking and looking for the abnormal behavior of the application in the peak hours, in the security manners, and in the performance manner, and in the load and the stress manner, by putting the heavy load on the application and the high load on the applications. So and if we talk about the user acceptance testing, as we have already discussed in the previous session as well, that there are different level of the acceptance criteria as well, testing as well, which we need to carry during the testing activity. Like if we talk about the in-house acceptance criteria, normally the testers are the first guardian who will make sure that the requirement and the acceptance criteria is meet and successfully achieved, and then we will pass that to the product team, maybe for the peer review and the cap review, and then maybe we hire some expert matter people, subject matter expert engineers to do that for us, and we will see the impact and of the acceptance criteria. So the acceptance criteria, the best example we can, the classic example we can see that every company launch the beta version of their product first, and then they will launch it and wait for certain time period to get the feedback of the end user, and then finalize their product final version after the fixes or after the feedback incorporated. So these are the main abstract level testing type which we need to carry to perform our software testing in our different project and in different applications. So for today we have done. If you have any question related to the testing types which we have discussed in this session, and you will get back to us in the comment section. Although we will capture the testing types in more detail in the coming sessions, and then I hope you will, if you have any questions, so I hope you will be more clear after watching those videos.